Hey folks, Daily Lance blog for the 14th of September 2019. So ordered this from Amazon and it's a brain. And why did I pick this one? Well, I start my I start my speaking, giving speeches. I guess it would be on tomorrow, actually, to Whole Health in a group there. And then next week, I've got a whole bunch of speeches to give. And I'm trying to find different ways to illustrate mental illness and what it is for people, obviously, who don't understand it. And this is kind of my philosophy. You got to look at the brain as having two halves to it. One half, the other half. The first half, which I'll talk about now, is the one that ultimately you have full control over. So you can tell this half of your brain what to do. You can tell it, add 1 and 1, and it can't fight back. It may not have the answer, but you have total control over that thought process. If you say, I want to read this book or I want to recall something, may not be able to do it, but it has to listen to you, right? That makes sense, doesn't it, Case?
Yeah.
Right. And then you have a second half of the brain, which you have no control over. And these are the things in your brain called feelings, right? So you can't control if you watch something and you find it sad. It's not like you said, I want to find this sad. It's not like you can tell this part of the brain that you want it to feel joy, for instance, or happiness or any other emotion. Emotions just happen. We don't control them. They control us. So this is the half of the brain that feels the emotions, and this is the half of the brain that you instruct, that gets you through your day. So what happens if this half of the brain wasn't operating? And now you're only left with this half of the brain. So you tell this half of the brain, I want to experience something that I enjoy. So I'm going to go for a cup of coffee at Starbucks, which I really enjoy. This half of the brain tells you where to go and what to order and what to put in it. Two sugar twins, by the way. And it has no control over that. But now the other half of the brain is missing. So I take a sip of that coffee. I don't feel any joy because that half is gone. Because the half of the brain that just allows me to act like a human being and to feel the range of emotions is gone. So now when I take a sip of the coffee, I know that I like coffee. I know that it's one of my favorite things, but I don't feel it because the brain that allows me to know things is working. The other half is gone. And that is depression. Sure, we can still operate, we can think, we can do many of the same things that we used to do, but the half that allows us to feel things, it's not working. What do you think, Case?
Pretty good.
Did that work?
It did.
Okay. And I just wanted to say that I got a message from one of my favorite people talking about her PTSD and how it had crippled her and how she had gotten better from it. She had had treatment and her life was going along well. And then she was, the same thing happened to her, a horrible thing in her life. And she relapsed. And she sent me a message today to say that she's doing really well and that she wanted everybody to know that there is always hope, but you have to chase the hope. And so now I have two people that I'm communicating with. For C, that's you today, and for V, both of you, thanks for sharing. SickNomeWeek.com, 24 hours a day, 364 days a year. We're here because we got props to work with now. This is a big upgrade on the Daily Lance blog, We've hit the big time.
Pretty budget, though.
Yeah, you know what? It is. You know who really liked this? The dog.